Thank you for joining me on tonight's Empire Builder with my special guest, Danelle Delgado.
Live from New York City.
Absolutely. Great place right here in Lincoln Plaza right now. Beautiful night out. And tonight we wanted to talk to you a little bit about how the system is fixed.
It's very fixed.
It's very fixed.
People think it's fixed in their favor to help them.
Yes, but it is set up actually against the middle class. And that is the
100%.
biggest thing that we are for, obviously, from where we started and where we are today. So the biggest thing that we want to talk to you about tonight is how do we defend the middle class, right?
Yes. I think, that's where the majority of people who are really earning, who are working hard, who have that same work ethic, and they want to give back in the world, they want to do all of that, they get lodged and stuck instead of trying to check all the boxes.
Yes.
Rather than knowing that they're supposed to be outside the box, way outside.
Absolutely.
Right?
And so many of the financial tools that are available and have been actually pitched to us, and I mean truly pitched by not all, I know I'm stereotyping a little bit, financial advisors and the media, especially the mass media, are not the things that are designed for us to set ourselves and our families up for future success.
Okay, so let's talk about system being fixed.
Yes.
In the middle class is mostly for families.
It is supposed
People
to
who
be.
have kids.
Yes.
Because they would put everything on the line for their families, right? I know how hard you and Terry work to provide, to do so much, to let them, look at AJ's golf and look at, all of those things that we try to provide for, but where most people get stuck is going, well, I gotta go to work, I gotta, pay all these, I gotta do my taxes just like they tell me, I gotta, all of those things, and they have no idea that you can't get ahead of the game if you play it that way.
And I know you're the same with the kids.
Yep.
And I know we were talking about, Seth talking about how to afford a car. Right? And these are the things that our children are not being taught right now in the general private or public school education. Not anything against the teachers, but the teachers are trying to teach 30, 40 kids, and that's not what's in their curriculum.
I used to be a teacher.
So there you go.
Right? In the education system, thinking I knew everything to teach them to move forward, but I was teaching them the system that I was raised in, which was the fixed one. Right? I knew nothing about business. I just knew, hey guys, follow, go to school, get a job, work your way up. Eventually it will work out for you, or you'll be old and you'll have enough to retire. Hopefully you're not dead yet.
No.
And that's what I taught them to do.
That's what it's about. Yeah, it's about getting them in the position to be left better off. So, hi Terry, Debbie.
Hi Terry, we miss you.
We do.
Let's
Wish you
go
were
back
here.
to Greece.
And the kids.
I like when we all go together.
Coach Tobin, thank you for watching from Arizona. I appreciate your time.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know you know what it's about, teaching and coaching kids for so many years.
How many people work so hard, right? Wouldn't you if your hard-earned dollars made you more money as opposed to you just worked to make it?
Yes. It's
now,
not just about...
you're kind of the king of that. You're very polite about it.
Well, if you're sitting there looking at it, 3/4 of the people in our country right now are suffering because they are living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
The 401k program that was put into existence just under 20 years ago was supposed to help people save for retirement and force them, but is actually underfunding people for retirement. And it's a scary thing for our generation and future generations that these things need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And the best way to address them is by learning the core values and passing them down ourselves to our families and our children, and hopefully someday our grandchildren. So so
let's talk about kids, right?
Yes.
Now, most people don't know this. We were having this discussion, and I was like, I did not know that. Okay, so what does it cost to raise a child in today's world? Just one.
One child, it costs $1.5 million, and that's from bottles and diapers all the way up through college, and it includes public college, not private college.
Public in-state.
Public in-state, which the average public in-state right now apparently is just over $10,000.
Depending on which state you live in.
This is true, and private is over $35,000 a year at this point, but will be much higher in the next 5 years. So
yes,
it is. It's a scary thing. Yes.
Scary thing. So $1.5 million. Now, how many of you guys just have one kid?
Yes.
I have 3.
Yeah.
You have 2. So you're 3 million in, right? Like if you look at those numbers, okay, so let's look at what the average person makes in order to afford a kid.
Yeah. So the average household in our country right now makes about $90,000 a year.
Household. And that's usually 2 people,
household.
Right?
Usually 2 people with that statistic. But as we know, not everybody is together, and there are some sole providers out there who have to make up for 2.
Right.
Right.
So
and that's a challenge.
90,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So let's take it down. Let's say it's 1, because I was a 1-person household.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 with 3 kids, right? If you do like the math on that, let's just say it was a little bit overachiever, $5,000. I made 50 grand.
Yes.
So for like 40 years.
You got to work for 40 years, and it comes to roughly about $37,000 a year per child.
$37,000 a year per child. So multiply how many children you have times $37,000 a year for how long you plan to provide for them. Like, are you going to make it? The truth is most people won't. They won't.
No.
If they don't do some smarter things.
Yes, exactly.
I know you know some smarter things to teach some people.
And they are things that are out of the ordinary because they are a little bit more street smarts, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. You have to start thinking outside of the box on how you can not only earn, but market. We have some people just watching us everywhere and cheering for us, apparently, from the second story of the center. So
I'll talk to you later.
But in the event that you're sitting there and you're just like, you want to leave future generations better off. That's what our parents wanted for us.
Yep.
And it's becoming more and more a challenge, and almost 100%. To the point where people feel self-defeated before even starting.
Right. Well, and especially you might feel that way after you just heard our stats.
Absolutely. So go ahead.
Let's use your knowledge.
Yes.
Right? Because there's a lot of things I knew about business that I didn't ever know about investing or what to do. I knew how to make the money. I learned how to make the money, but I didn't. How many times have I come to you with questions about houses and cars and investments going, okay, I can make it, but it still doesn't make it.
Exactly. And it's a matter of not just about making it, it's about what you can save percentage-wise. And the numbers are startling, because you hear that you need to have enough saved. Work your whole life for 40 years. When you retire 65, 70, you can start drawing out 4% of that money. So you're working the whole time just to draw it down. And that kind of is something that's not what we're here for, right? You're here to enjoy your life, to work hard, and provide experiences for your family, and to help others when they need help, right?
So that 1.5 million was to raise your kid, not to experience life with your kid.
Absolutely not. That's not including vacation.
No. Travel, college, looking at which schools to take them to.
It is. So it's a scary thing. Yeah. So the biggest thing, we're going to give you some tips on how to try to just talk through, because it's all about communication and think a little bit differently. So
some street smarts.
Street smarts, breaking down the walls a little bit, making it a little bit more, okay, get to the point, let's stop beating around it. And not only we're going to sit here and say you need to earn more, right? Because we all feel that we need to earn more to make ends meet and be able to give our kids the experiences. But it's not just about earning, it's how you earn the money. And
so true.
It's setting and leading by example for our kids to show them the proper work ethic and respecting other people's opinions, because I've learned so much from you and the other people and great mentors. Some of them are on here tonight that I've learned from. So good evening, Bonnie. Jennifer, thank you for watching.
Yes.
We appreciate your time.
It is, because you can't out-earn the system. You have to outsmart the system.
You do.
Right?
Because they're teaching a certain way to our children at this point, and we need to say, okay, we're teaching our kids to be exceptional.
Yes.
How do we get them ahead, right? So.
There's James.
James, good evening, James.
James, we were just talking about you.
We really were.
How'd you survive with your headlamp tonight?
Hopefully you could see very clearly. So
Better
since you
than Bora Bora, where he almost broke his nose.
I missed that trip actually. So I did hear about the story. So
Yes.
so besides the earning,
Yep.
right, and how we're earning, we have to teach the work habits to our children about what is truly valuable, and
Yeah.
taking pride in everything they do, being able to put their signature on it to say, I did this, I'm proud of this,
Yep.
and I want other people to know about it. And I think that's a really important
Right.
point to communicate to the kids. You
Right.
know?
Especially when they're being raised in schools to get a participation trophy, it can challenge their mindset.
Yes. So she
on-
had to go there, obviously. with the
Sorry,
participation trophy.
well, it's my fault, not yours. But it's hard because I raised them how I was raised and what made me super competitive and super driven to have like personal responsibility to everything I do. And then they go to school and they're being taught, just do your best,
Yes.
which is true, but they promote it as your best is average.
Yes.
Like, just give enough.
Yeah. You should
It's a
never,
difference thing.
you should never,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and this might be a little bit much, but you should never really settle.
Yeah.
Because
It's painful.
if you're settling and you're using the security blanket,
Yeah.
I know for Terry and I's parents, we're trying to raise, right? We're trying to teach
Yeah.
them, we're trying to mentor them, and eventually we want them to be independent
Yeah.
and be able to go out there. There's no security blanket. They need to make
Right.
it on their own, right? And
Right.
that's what it's really about. That was passed on by my parents to me.
And me too.
Yeah.
I never got given anything or handed anything.
Yeah.
Earned the car.
Yes.
Earned the jobs.
No.
I had no. Do you do? What do they call it when they just pay their kids money for existing?
Oh, allowance. That's what it's called.
I couldn't even think of it because I don't participate.
So Terry and I do not believe in allowance. We
Yeah.
believe in, they live in our house, they have chores, they're a responsibility, no matter what they say. And yes,
Yeah.
they don't like doing them, especially if
Yes.
certain friends do not. But
Yeah.
you just don't get money for
Right.
just showing up.
But
Now,
they
I
can
guess
do
you
their
could.
chores. I let them earn extra at my house.
Yes.
Like, so let's say they do their chores, but they say, hey, what could I do to earn this to get this? That is totally acceptable
Yes.
at my house. Because
Yeah.
that's how it works in the real world.
It does.
You
You
don't be
do
like,
more.
hey boss, I'm here. Do I get paid?
Yes. If you're generating
Yeah.
more for your company, your boss is going to notice
Yeah.
that, or manager.
Yep.
And if you're in a great company with great values, they're going to respect that and really make it whole for you and reward you for that.
Yeah.
And that's the big difference about the companies we like to work with.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So it's-
Exactly. They have to have that same mentality as us. So same thing, as you're out there earning, whoever you're working for, whatever you're doing on your own, man, it better align with what you believe. Because there's no way you can have two people working against each other trying to build something great.
No, your values
Right.
need to match the company that you're working
Yeah.
with. And I didn't say for, because we're believers
Yeah,
in that
right.
we are a work family and we're all working
Yeah.
together towards the same goal, no matter what company it is.
100%.
You know, so
Team.
so my next point after earning would be managing the money. Scary thing in today's world,
Yeah.
managing the money.
Right?
And it should be predetermined, because your goal should be to save 40%. Yes, I said 40%.
We had this
Four-
conversation.
40%.
tonight. I was like, really? Tell him, like, honestly.
40%
Yeah.
of your gross income. That should be your eventual goal. Now everybody's sitting there saying that is ridiculous, it's impossible, you can't live off that if you're saving 40%. But you're saving the 40% to invest in yourself, in
Yeah.
your future, in businesses that are going to, or real estate that's going to generate more money for you. That money needs to work for you. It can't just sit under a mattress. Back in the day, you used to take the money,
Right.
put it
Or
under the
banks,
mattress, right?
Right?
I guess. I don't
Right?
know.
Same thing.
Right?
We
So
could talk about banks. I'm
Oh.
just kidding.
she's really hitting all of these key points for us, right? The banks want your money, right? Because the banks are taking your money and they're
Yeah.
making money with your money, and they're paying you 1%. Maybe
Yeah.
you could get 1.75. Depends where you're going. But even if you make 1%, you're getting charged tax on that 1%. So
Really not.
what are you really making?
Really.
And if you take inflation into it, you're really negative. So
Really
your
losing.
cash in the bank is losing
Go
money,
back to the
right?
mattress.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. But talk about the 40%. Here's the problem. Probably nobody gave you that target. Nobody
Absolutely
even
not.
told you a number to aim for.
Yeah.
Nobody said, hey, here's what you're gonna need. It was just earn, spend, buy, do, live within your means. That's why so many people build wealth and are like, why am I still as broke as I was when I made no money? Because nobody ever gave them a target. Like I guarantee you, most people who watch this video later, they won't even know the number they were supposed to hit.
No, and most of the financial analysts out there are going to tell you need to save it 10%.
Yep. So I was going to say, they're going to say 10.
If you want to push, you're a go-getter, 15.
Yeah.
But they're also going to tell you that you could use the 4% withdrawal rate to retire once you hit 65 or 70. And if you really do the math on that with the fees that the financial people are making,
you could live underneath this.
You can, absolutely. You definitely can't afford to live in New York City. That I can tell you, right?
Yes.
Which you can live on pizza and bagels. I could do that.
It was so good.
That's
why my kids want to live here, is just for the pizza.
Yes, you really can't beat that. So every time we come back, we have multiple pizza and bagel stops when we're here with the kids. So managing your money is key. Trying to the ultimate goal is 40% for savings, but that savings is to invest. It is not to be spent on luxuries or cars or
purses,
trips.
Shoes.
I don't have that problem.
Terry would agree with me. Come with me. We're going shopping. I think last time I was with Terry, we went to the spa all day. And you were doing something else, and we went to the spa. So, Terry, we can spend it. No, I'm just kidding.
You can. You can if it's not within the 40%, right? It has to be within the 40%.
Right. But I think that's it. People like it when they earn it, and they don't really have trusted people to manage it. They have people who say they are experts.
Yes.
Some of them are, some of them study.
Yes.
Doesn't matter the age, it matters the experience, the learning, the study.
Yeah. And don't ever hire someone to manage your money that you can't fire.
Right. Like, look how many people. I'm just thinking of all my clients right now who probably needed that statement.
Yeah. Really? I mean, you have family, friends here
I have
that might...
family who they like stole from them.
Yes.
All those things, right? And they were close friends. I was like, oh.
Yes. And
on my uncle's farm, that was rough.
That, I'm sure, right? Don't ever lend out money that you are ever going to expect back.
That is a donation.
That is a donation to anybody it is, right?
Learn that one.
So,
hey, Scott, so if I wanted to borrow $50,000, we talk about this a lot. People ask, once you earn, they ask. Checks and balances in place. It's great to want to serve, earn so you can give.
Yes. But you want to give to the people that truly need it. And there's a lot of organizations and children with special needs and things that we support, both families support.
Yes.
That's a different story.
Right.
But just to be handing out money to people for not smart decisions. I mean, most of my money is tied up in business investments and real estate, right? And
it's busy making money.
Yes, and when I take it out, I'm taking away money from Gianna and AJ's future.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. So, and people that are seasoned in that will understand that because they're investing their money. That money is making the money. But other people don't see it that way.
Right.
And it's the same thing.
Most valuable thing you could give someone who asks is education.
Yes.
Let's talk about how to get you out of this situation and how it can never happen again.
Yes. And learn.
I had to learn how to get out of that.
That's it's about learning, right? Because learning will get them out of that situation and whatever it is.
Giving will not. Anyone that I have lent money to before never got out of their financial stuck situation. Just saying.
Ironic, isn't it?
It's ironic.
It is, right?
My bad. I was teaching them that it's okay.
Handouts do not help people in the end. It's unfortunate. You might think you're doing the right thing, but
even loans make it difficult. Like if you loan,
it depends what you're getting for interest,
right?
You should be charging interest if you're getting loans. So
right? We were talking about outstanding dollars that I have, and you were like, "I'll take those," and I'll, you know.
Absolutely.
I was like, "That's right, always." But always making money work for you. How much money do you have sitting there that you think you're saving where you're actually losing because you're not managing?
Yes, and you have to
It's a great point.
You have to be smart about it, right? You have to look at inflation and things and what you're trying to achieve for your family, right?
Right.
So, big point to that. Jason, thank you for watching tonight. Nice to have you on. Hope you're having a good night. So our fourth point, because I think we're at 4.
Yes.
Maybe if I misnumbered or not.
You gave a lot of good ones.
All right, so 4 would be, and this is your specialty,
Yes.
Branding
Can't remember.
yourself.
Oh, okay.
And helping our children.
That's right. Every single human in this day and age needs to build a personal brand, right?
Absolutely.
If you don't, okay, so here's the thing. If you don't, your children will. And if they don't know how to do it correctly,
it could ruin their future.
It can ruin their future. Think about the 14-year-old sending selfies. That is Googleable forever for every employer, every job. What if we put things in place and taught people how to do it correctly that builds? Because there's no, okay, so when I get someone asks me to work for me, where do I go?
You go right online.
Google.
And we do the same thing.
And what pops up first? All the social media sites. You see everyone, private or public, their pictures are there, everything. So, like, if you think about it, number one, building a brand puts your money in your hand. What you stand for, your values, if people trust you. If you're not on there, you're not trustable.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't do business with anyone I can't see, right? So you can see those things. Number two, you're building it up for future generations to understand how to use it in their favor as opposed to all the nasty things that we hear. Number three, if you don't believe in the value of yourself, making your money work for you, there's no confidence in that either. Like, I believe it built my personal confidence to make money by saying I had to stand for something in front of others, right?
Absolutely.
So, for instance, I work with several humans who are very successful and refuse to get online. Say, I don't know, somebody I know very well didn't want to when we first met.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Right? Because it's not comfortable, right? Why, as Dr. Scott Colonna, were you apprehensive to getting online?
Well, first of all, yes, you were the person that forced me to go to get a Facebook account, and that started this all off, right?
You didn't even have a Facebook account.
And she also guilted me a little bit in saying that I could be helping so many more people that I was being selfish. And that kind of got the Italian thing going a little bit, right? So, but for me, it was very private. I was always a very private person, and that's how we were raised. Social media is a different way. I don't share a lot of things.
Still hard for you.
Still at this point, but I'm pretty much, I think I've improved.
100%.
Right?
Are you
kidding? We're doing a live on a Monday night in New York City, so obviously.
And you do them consistently to help people. You don't have to do that.
Absolutely not.
Right.
It's about trying to help. We're all going through similar things, especially business owners, people that work inside companies. Yeah. Most of us have families that I know and you know. So we're just trying to build a community that we are here and share knowledge so that you can make a better situation for yourselves and your family to enjoy life with your family.
Right.
That's really what it's all about, and we're trying to use social media for that positive way of things. Yes, it can be used, unfortunately, for some negative things, but we're also trying to teach kids to set themselves up for success.
100%.
Right?
It's designed to get attention, right? That's what it's designed for. It gets attention automatically. What you have to understand is you're attracting opportunities, humans, income, like all those kinds of things. Let's say you are an employee and you worked for Dr. Scott. Well, you're going to want to make sure that everything you do is up to the level that is required to have that incredible job with someone who actually cares for you, right? Because there's a lot of crappy jobs out there that are left over for people who don't have to have criteria.
I've heard of some though.
Yeah.
I don't. That's not how we intend to do things, but every person that's part of our work family is vital to our growth.
Yeah.
And they all have knowledge that maybe I don't have or one of our managers don't, but their opinion and their viewpoint matters, and that's what sets really successful companies apart. The ability to be open and not judge people, because this is the United States of America. You're supposed to respect other people's opinions, and if they don't agree with you, that's their prerogative. That's good. You have to cheer our country for what you're trying to do, right? And that is one way that we can continue to grow through a community and teach our kids to get things a little bit more back in line, because I seem there's a little bit of lack of balance right now. So
getting it back under control the right way.
Absolutely. So
guidelines.
Good evening, Anthony. Heather, thank you for watching.
Anthony, hi, Heather.
Yes. not sure if Anthony's traveling where he is today.
Maybe nearby.
Maybe, you never know. If you're in New York City, let us know.
By.
So we're going to finish on the last point. And the last point for setting things up for your future generations is to take down the walls that we have as adults and parents.
Yeah.
Because we build, and it's not just we built them, it's how we were raised is a big factor.
Right. Open minds are, right. I used to teach kids, right? And people who meet me now are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just teaching, right?
Yes.
I go, adults who are a lot harder to change and transition and grow because they're very set in their ways.
Absolutely.
And having an open mind about what's necessary. You guys think it's comfortable to be online and just invite judgment? Hi, shoot me in the face for everything I say wrong, do wrong, might have misstepped, can't remember what I say because it's nerve-wracking on here.
Absolutely.
Posted a picture of my car and people are mad because I actually had success. I had to go through that process of learning, open your minds now. The world is online. If you don't show up there and help people, like you're okay letting people be homeless on the street. You're okay not showing them how you went from nothing to taking care of your kids in a proud way. So that was a big open mind. That was a big open mind for me to think, oh, because I'm saving and doing better than anyone I know, that I'm doing right. I wasn't. I still wasn't making it work. You kept going, what percent? What percent? And I was like, do we have to talk about the percent?
Well, I'm very big into numbers. That's how I was raised. And the numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
People can lie.
A lot.
People can lie about the numbers.
Yeah.
But the numbers, unless they're fudged, are truly the numbers, right? So,
legal numbers.
Legal numbers from a really good accountant.
Yes.
And there's plenty of them out there.
Yes.
Are things that you need to have believability
Yeah.
in. So, I really want to appreciate everybody. First of all, I want to thank Danelle for being here tonight.
Because your
Jason,
your new car is awesome, by the way. Thank you. I like it.
See that? I agree.
Yes.
Her new car is awesome. So, good evening, Marianne. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you
Thanks for all you're doing
being
for people.
here, and we're going to continue to share things out so that you can continue to take your families and your future generations to the next level. I want you guys to have a great week. Please share this out if you know any families that might benefit from some of the things we talked about, because we're always looking to expand our empire and we want you to expand yours.
So much knowledge out there. Don't think you can't do it, right?
Everybody can make a little bit of a difference and it all adds up. So have a great week. Go build your empire. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Good night.